Long ago, in a small village in Maharashtra, lived a young woman named Savitri. She looked at the books her husband, Jyotiba, read with such great wonder. "What are these little black ants crawling on the paper?" she asked with a bright smile. Jyotiba laughed softly and said, "These are not ants, Savitri. These are letters. They carry the stories of the world." Jyotiba became Savitri's first teacher. Every evening, after the day's work was done, they sat together under the warm glow of an oil lamp. With a twig, Savitri traced her first A in the soft red earth. "Look, Jyotiba," she cried. "I have made a letter bloom." Her heart danced like a peacock in the rain, because she knew that soon she would be able to read every story ever written. Savitri didn't want to keep this magic to herself. She wanted every girl in the village to have a garden of letters in her own mind. So she and Jyotiba decided to open a school. But in those days, many people thought girls should not go to school. As Savitri walked down the dusty path, some people grumbled and threw mud at her beautiful sari. Did Savitri cry? Did she turn back? No, not our Savitri. She simply carried an extra sari in her bag. When she reached the school, she changed into a clean one and greeted her students with a warm namaste. One of her first students was a young girl named Mukta, who was waiting by the wooden door with eyes full of hope. Inside the classroom, the air was filled with the sweet sound of voices. Mukta and another girl, Saguna, sat on the floor with their slates. They practiced their letters over and over. A is for ambition, Savitri told them. B is for brave. The girls giggled, their fingers covered in white chalk dust, feeling like they were uncovering a secret treasure. Savitri moved between the rows, helping each child. She knelt beside Saguna, gently guiding her hand to straighten a line. "Knowledge is a light that no one can blow out," Savitri whispered. Saguna looked up, her face shining. For the first time, the marks on the slate didn't look like scratches. They looked like a path leading to a bright new world. Outside the school, the grumbling continued. Two village elders stood under a large banyan tree, shaking their heads. "What is the world coming to?" one asked. "A woman teaching? Girls reading?" They were afraid of change, but inside the school, the sound of learning was much louder than the sound of their complaints. Savitri knew that being a teacher meant more than just reading books. It meant standing up for what is right. She walked through the village with her spare sari tucked under her arm, a symbol of her strength. She didn't mind the mud or the mean words. She knew that every letter her students learned was a seed that would one day grow into a mighty tree of freedom. Years passed, and the school grew. Mukta and Saguna were no longer shy. They were confident young women who could read, write, and think for themselves. They sat together in the school library, sharing a large book and discussing the big ideas inside. The garden of letters had blossomed, filling the village with the fragrance of wisdom. One evening, Savitri and Jyotiba sat in their own garden, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. "Look, Savitri," Jyotiba said, pointing to the village. "The lights are coming on." Savitri smiled, knowing those lights weren't just lamps in houses, but the spark of knowledge in the hearts of her students. Her garden was in full bloom, and it would never fade.